Ryan, nice to meet
Nice
you
to meet you.
officially.
Do you think we could throw a festival here by July?
Oh yeah, that's what we're
5
trying
months?
to do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry. Okay.
I mean,
Tried to
that's
get that off,
side
but
quests, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Hi, I'm Chelsea from Six Sounds, and just 1,997 miles outside of Nashville, we are joined with
Prince of Eden.
Have you ever been to Nashville?
Yes, I love Nashville. Been there a few times. The scene is pretty thick with music out there, so
Okay, yeah.
been there.
That's cool.
Played one show. Would love to play more, but
Yeah. Where does the banjo come from? Because we grew up in the same OC
Area.
suburbs,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not a lot of banjos over here.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I will say, like, there's like a country scene in Orange County. Like the banjo is in specific is so folky, so I feel like it's different than like the like Luke Combs country. But like, I feel like where you and I grew up in Orange County, there is that like interest. It's very Texas-y in this part of California.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
so
I
think
definitely
like
see that.
I
for
think
sure,
that's
yeah.
kind of where it came from.
Yeah.
And I just think it's an awesome instrument. With the birth of Guitar Center, like anybody can get their hands on one, you know?
That's
So I
true.
was just
Is
like,
that
oh.
where your banjo's
Yeah,
from?
yeah,
Guitar
yeah,
Center?
yeah.
Period,
Had to.
So you started releasing music in high school, actually, like
Mm-hmm.
2018. How do you think like your sound and just like your music taste in general has evolved since then?
I was listening to my old songs, and strictly just production-wise, it's just like completely amplified and like multiplies like yearly as far as basics of production go. I think it's also just like an age thing of like when you're a specific age, you and the people around you like a specific style of music. That's why you have like a demographic when you start a
Yeah.
business. You have a demographic when you like are writing this type of music, coming of age, like really, you know, spacey, airy, harmonious vocals. I'm gonna like attract, you know, we'll say like 16 to 23-year-olds that are like kind of like getting their life together, getting ideas about like what they're gonna do with their life. Coming out of 16 to my own demographic, I'm almost going into this new era of music and of just myself that like will attract a different demographic of like 24 to 31-year-olds who feel a little behind or something, or feel like they, you know, they kind of messed up a bit.
Who's somebody that like inspired you when you first started creating, and then like who's somebody that inspires you now?
Okay, so when I first started, it was the 1975, and I still, you know, look up to them now, and their albums are insane every single time they drop one. I think nowadays there are so many talented like small artists that like they didn't technically make like a beautiful like full song, but they made a hell of a chorus of that song. And like the other bit of the song could be like, yeah, it's a good song, but like that chorus is like, holy crap, like it's so stuck with me. So I think that's what's like the most motivating these days is like just surfing Discover Weekly and playlists and like hearing something and it like moved me. I've just got like a bookshelf of like choruses, bridges, verses, harmonies, melodies, and like licks that I've like kind of draw inspiration from and kind of like pull from. And it's just fun to be like, oh my gosh, this guy's 24, but he's in like Minnesota. Like I wonder what his life is like. Like we're kind of on the same path and like ping off this like virtual person for a second. Yeah.
Totally.
But,
no, it's really cool how like the digital age that we're in, like we're so lucky where people can create music anywhere and not only create but like reach anyone. They make one song, or I'm sure they've made a ton of songs, but they have that one song that like changes their like career forever.
Totally.
And they didn't need like to be in a certain city to make that happen or something.
It's nuts. Yeah. And then they're just kind of like branded with that song for the rest of their career.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Which
So
is fine. I think it's fun. Like I think like it's what it is. And then that's what like starting a side project is all about. You know, you can kind of like
for sure
get your ideas out, but still be like this branded musician elsewhere. Yeah.
Well, you have like a side band.
I have too many. I've been doing a lot.
You got a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw one. It's like newer. It's like you and someone else. And
It's
you guys
me
are
and
kind of wearing the same thing. And,
Yes.
Like, the videos
oh my gosh,
that
I'm glad you recognize that. Okay, good, cool.
What's it called?
So we're called 209 Northwood.
Oh, excuse my manners if I have none.
We're just making music kind of like that's kind of angsty and like in your face. And it's with my friend Atticus Walker. So he makes music too. His music's sick.
That's cool.
And he's in my band whenever I tour as Prince of Eden. So we just spent a lot of time together. And
Okay, yeah.
we're like, dude, let's start a freaking duo. And then I have a band in Oklahoma called Wayne and the Way Things Go. I've just got some amazing friends in Oklahoma that like every time I go out there, we just like always end up in, you know, their bedroom studio, just like pounding beers and just like hammering songs in.
Yeah.
And then like waking up the next day and being like, oh, this is actually like really good. We
That's
like
so
this.
fun.
So it's classic, like if we lived closer, or like if we lived together even, oh my gosh, we just connected at a freaking like star-like level, like
Yeah.
immediately. Go back like probably once or twice a year. They'll come out here, but it's just so expensive out here, and like
Yeah, it is
like,
hard.
oh my gosh, yeah, Oklahoma's housing, like, holy crap. Like, one of them has a house with his girlfriend. It's like $1,100 a month for like a 3-bed house. Isn't that
That's
ridiculous?
crazy.
Doesn't it make
That's
you sad? Yeah.
My San Diego rent could never.
Right?
Wild that we're all just living such different lives.
I know. I know.
It's outrageous.
I
Can we
know.
change that?
Yeah.
Like, please.
Let's do it. It starts
Oh.
with the festival we're going to throw here.
Yeah. You have a new song called Alive. That's
Yes.
coming out this month.
Yep.
February 21st?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Hell yeah.
heard that. If you were to describe this song in 3 words, what would be the 3 words you'd use?
I'll say groove first. Honest.
Honest? Okay.
I'll just say smack. Groove, honest, smack.
Groove, honest, smack.
Yeah.
That
I-
sounds like a banger.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. It's really just like, it's about just being completely honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like the first few lines just kind of talk about like, next time you say something and you like think for the rest of like the next 48 hours about how like terribly you said it or something, or like how everybody thinks you're like an idiot for saying it. Like none of them are thinking that. B, like you're an idiot for thinking that. Like,
Yeah.
and then C, just like give it up. Like what's the point if like, you know, chronic illness dawns on you tomorrow and like all you did for the past, like, you know,
Was worry.
Was
about,
worry,
like,
yeah.
your wording.
it's a smack in the face to like acknowledge it, but yeah, to do that.
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. What's a song that you're kind of most proud of, or one that just like you kind of return to and you're like, okay, that kind of like embodies
We
me.
did something there, kind of thing. I always say it's the newest Miss City Babe, the last song that I released. It's probably the best song I've like written, produced. Because that's another thing, is like being like a self-producer. It's like I'm also proud of like the way it's starting to sound, you know? I can love what I'm doing like lyrically and like creatively, which I am like, I love that. I love that the most, but like I can't help but like give myself like a pat on the back to hear like a bass line like peeking through a little better and like making it more groovy or something. Miss City Babe, I think like housing like in the bridge harmonies, spacey vocals, like it's still Prince of Eden, but it's like it's the nice path of like, it's the changing of the demographic like we were talking about earlier. It's just kind of like in your face like groove instead of like a coming of age,
It's a little bit
windows
more
down,
like
taking a hike
assertive
kind of
and
thing.
confident.
Yes,
for
yeah.
sure,
And I think that's kind of like what I'm going into right now.
Yeah.
I used to write, as far as like lyrics, I would write like with like a dagger, we'll call it a dagger, and then but the music itself was like more of like a club, so it would hit a lot more people, and then if they actually liked the song, they'd dive into the lyrics, and then they'd like fall in love with the lyrics. But
yeah. No, 'cause some of it, like the lyrics, especially, I can't remember the project, but when I'm like really, because it's kind of like you're
Yeah.
vibing, and then you
Yeah.
really listen to the lyrics, and you're just like, wait, like
oh dang,
he's
yeah.
really giving us it all.
Yeah, thank you.
But sorry to interrupt. You were talking
No,
about like
that-
the transition.
That's just kind of what I was saying. Like, it's just a little more like in your face. Like, I'm like in love with the songs that I'm making right now. So I think Miss City Babe fully encapsulates like as far as my writing, as far as like my life and like this new person, this new design.
I love
Yeah.
the video for that, by the way.
Isn't it so good?
It's
Yeah.
so cute because it's you guys, right?
Dude, it was made in like
Yeah.
it was made in like 25 minutes.
Really?
It was classic like
Were you guys in New York?
we were
or-
in New York,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I was playing like a little mini festival there, and it was just like, holy shit, we have like 2 hours. Like, let's just like kill a music video.
Yeah. Who's like filming that?
So it's our friend Noah Bergs.
Okay.
And he's just like, he's great at like just, okay, go over there, like, all right, now like,
Yeah.
you know, like hold each other's hands. And it started feeling a little like Hallmark cheesy, kind of like, okay, now look in each other's eyes and like laugh at each other. And like within that, it was like, what are we even doing? Like we're dating. Like, why do we have to like fake it? And then it became this like another wall of like, almost like Inception, kind of like, wait, let's act like we hate this whole Hallmark vibe. And like
Yeah.
we're actually like in love, and then like people will be like, wait, are they actually in love? This doesn't look like it's fake.
There's a little bit of like defiance, like
Yes.
kind of like, oh, we're gonna do this our own way. That
Yes,
sort of thing
yes,
there.
and it like came super naturally, especially because like we were like on a time crunch because everyone was kind of tired, and like we were like, okay, Like we said, we'd film a music video, like let's just do it really quick. It helped so much. I'm already like kind of like antsy, so like I'm like dancing, like I didn't have a choice but to like have a good time.
Yeah.
And it just like, yeah, it tracked. I think that video is so good.
I specifically really love your music, by the way.
Thank you.
Like my friend was like, we like went to middle school with him, and I was like,
yeah, that's what we talked about.
Fuck?
Yeah,
like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, Aaron, like, then I remember, I think I had a friend
Did
who
we
was
go
in
to school?
We went to middle school.
Yes, Kramer.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I was a year older than you.
Okay, that's right.
And then I remember I had a friend who was like, there's this guy in my choir, because did you do choir?
I did choir, yeah.
With Sandra Sakakibara.
Yes!
Yes.
Oh my-
Then the memory like hit me of like us being in middle school and her being like, I'm so jealous of his voice, like he's so good. She's gonna be like, girl, why are you bringing this up?
That's so
but literally,
funny.
so that's
Yeah.
so funny that's the memory I have. And like now I'm
Just
interviewing
full
him,
ass
and
circle.
We're like adults now.
I know.
Doing our thing.
Oh
like,
my gosh, that was
I
like,
know.
that was literally
Over
10 years ago.
Yeah. For sure.
That's so fun.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's insane, yeah.
In an interview you did with me with the receipts with Mud Magazine like 3 years ago, you said that it was kind of like hard to call yourself an artist because of all the like competition right now, and as well as like the pressures of the industry.
Yeah.
What is your like view of yourself as an artist in this moment right now?
I think I've actually had a lot of conversations with my friend Atticus about this. Like I still feel like a fraud sometimes. My dad is like a like world class. He was a choir director for like the longest time, but he like took his choir and like won like the best in the Western Hemisphere choir like in the world. And I'm like how am I supposed to, like, that's a real
That's
you know, like
wild.
composer or like musician. And like he knows theory, and he's got perfect pitch, and like every which way that you could be a legitimate like mathematical like on paper musician, he is. When I come on and I compose these pop songs, but I'm not using theory, like I don't have perfect pitch, like I'm not doing any of these things that like I deem legitimate. I didn't go to like, you know, Berklee School of Music or anything. So I could say like, yeah, I'm an artist, but then like 2 seconds later, you know, somebody like Jacob Collier shows up and I'm like, okay, my bad, like I didn't mean that. Like it just depends, but like I think I create music no matter what.
Yeah.
Therefore I am an artist musically.
Yeah.
But as far as musician goes, I think I'm ready to call myself that now as well. Because I've been kind of playing live a bit more. That was another thing, is I felt kind of like a studio rat. Like I was just kind of like only ever in the studio. Anybody can play a lick if you're sitting in front of the screen for 85 takes, you know? Like you'll get it down on the 85th take. But like if you're playing live, like you got one, you know, and then you're on to the next one. You can't even like take a breath.
Yeah, no, I thought it was just interesting that you like said that. So I was like, I want to know like what he thinks now. Cool.
Thanks for asking.
That's crazy that that's just your dad. Like
casual.
casual.
No, he's nuts. Yeah,
that's wild.
Super talented.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to
him. What are 3 things on your bingo card for 2025? I know it's like February, but it's still like early on in the year.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well literally now that I'm like here and like I'm so hyperfixated on it,
the festival
literally I want to play a show here. It's like a big lawn. So I'm thinking like it would need to have like 10 to 15 bands. So probably that. I want to throw a festival at Hillcrest Park in Fullerton.
We're gonna make it happen.
I'm releasing an album in May, so I'm just hoping that all of that goes well. I'm very, very notorious for pushing my album back, and I really don't want to do that this time.
That's exciting.
I'm stoked. But albums just aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
Like, so much music comes out that, like, somebody dropping an album is, like, naturally, like, we're just scrolling. We're just like, all right, who's next?
We have,
What's
like,
SZA
the
doing?
shortest attention span.
Yeah, I think that's why people do deluxe albums, too.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they'd started doing, like, double deluxe or triple deluxe. I feel like I should do that. I feel like I'll start that.
That's like so Taylor Swift. Like she's
Really?
always like
No, yeah, she's doing
like,
something.
and then platinum and then silver and this
Yeah.
and that.
Oh,
Like, I'm like I can't keep track.
Her team is literally like golden for everything they do. Yeah. She's always in the news, always doing something.
No, but I love a deluxe album because it does like make me like SZA released a deluxe recently.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, like I loved this thing, but she released it like a year after her album came out.
That's also
which
smart.
I was
yeah.
like, wait, that's kind of genius.
Maybe I think you drop it and then you just play, like you just know your numbers and you're kind of like, I don't think we need to right now.
I feel like the more I like work in music and everything, the more I'm starting to learn a lot about like things that like as just a listener I would never know, and I'm like, this is like so interesting, but it also kind of keeps you from what's it called?
I was literally
when
just
you
about to
know
say,
like too much.
Girl, stay like that. Like, do not do any of this stuff. Like, I can't listen to a song without like completely tearing it apart and listening to straight up frequencies of it. Like, I don't even listen as like Like sometimes I have to like just like mentally just hit a switch and just be like, just enjoy it.
I did that last night because I was like listening to, I don't even know who I was listening to. I listen to a lot of like small artists and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like have like a marketing background and I work in like music marketing, things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And every time now I'm like, they could use this line to make a TikTok and this could be like the caption they use and this would like
You're like
help with
planning
the
something for 'em?
virality
Yeah,
and stuff. And then I'm
yeah.
like, can you just listen to the song?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Why
You're
are
like,
we
shut
trying
up.
to see how to market this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, totally. I imagine it's the same for like film students. They can't watch a movie without being like,
Yeah.
what is that
She's like,
lighting?
yeah.
What is that? It's the
She's
same
a
thing,
film
huh?
student.
Yeah, yeah. With like direction and production and stuff.
When you
yeah.
know too
Ugh.
much. You're
Yeah.
like, can I just like the art? I think those were 3 things on your bingo card. Sorry, we like totally.
I think I said 2. Did I say 2? I don't have a pet, and I probably won't get a pet for this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not to get a pet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. That's the first thing that
That's
popped in
a
my head.
solid.
I'm not a big pet
You don't
guy.
want the squirrel that's right up there.
Maybe I'll take the
Just
squirrel.
right
And I'm allergic to cats. I would get a cat because cats are so fun to have, and they like
Yeah.
just do everything for themselves.
It's funny. We were just talking about a festival, but a dream festival lineup in your head. Who are the 3 headliners? You know, these are very on the spot questions.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, I'll just say these are the 3. I'd say 1975, Walk the Moon,
Okay, cool.
and Pine Grove. I think those 3.
Pine Grove.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a festival I would go
Right?
to,
That's like,
for
oh my
sure.
gosh. I feel like it would sell out in like 10 seconds.
Totally. People
Wherever
would
it
freak
was.
out.
It could be in like French
Could be here.
Polynesia and people would get there. Yeah.
Anaheim.
Literally.
Anaheim, California. Pine Grove. Do you want to come? Last thing for you
Yeah.
is who's an underrated artist that we should all be listening to? You can think about it.
I want to plug Atticus. Atticus makes
Okay,
like
yeah.
stuff. Have you ever heard his stuff? Atticus Walker?
I just listened in this morning.
Okay,
because I
Lady
was-
Loveless,
yeah.
you would love if you haven't heard it.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
a banger.
I'm looking lady loveless. I'm looking like a crime. I hope my baby needs me. Need to make sure I'm needed by.
All right, well,
Absolute
we'll definitely
heaters.
check him out.
Okay. perfect.
Amazing. Well, thanks for doing this.
Yes, so much.
Yay.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right, we're good.
Okay.